Hey everybody, it's Joe from greenlightsound.com, and today we've got another tip from Tony Maserati, and this one's a little different. I've never really tried this one before. This is a parallel vocal EQ to help fill out the bottom end of a vocal when it's sounding a little bit thin. So one of the problems you get if you're having a really dynamic performance, particularly from a female vocalist, but often with male vocalists too, is that sometimes when they're singing the verses, they're kind of up close on the mic, you get some of that proximity effect, you're getting a little bit more depth out of the low end of the vocal that way. But when they come time to belt out the chorus, they're going to back off the mic a little bit, which is great because it's kind of naturally controlling dynamics, but it can also make the low end kind of sound thin. And this is a way of tucking that low end back in underneath the main vocal. I'll show you exactly what I mean. First of all, let me jump to the verse here and just solo up the vocal. Here's the verse.
No one's ever been able to stop me in my tracks before. You're a beast, wild animal.
So because the singer's in a lower range and because it's kind of close to the mic, you're getting some of that depth to the vocal. Now I'm going to jump ahead to the chorus. Listen to the chorus part.
Then we're back to the start, now it's split apart. The roads are shifting, our worlds apart. We've been here before through these sliding doors.
Which is not terrible, but it's kind of missing some of that low end. So if you wanted to bring some back in, the trick is this. We copy the vocal. We could put it on a send too, but in this case, we just straight up copied the track. And then I EQ it, so I'm cutting out all of the top end. Nothing's there at all. I'm high passing a little bit too to get any rumble out. And I'm just kind of boosting up a few dB here on the kind of lows and low mids. And the result of that is a track that sounds like this.
Then we're back to the start, now it's split apart. The roads are shifting, our worlds apart. We've been here before through these sliding doors.
Just really muffled and low sounding, and that's what it should be. And then what I do is just dial that in with the main vocal playing to kind of fill it out a bit. So watch the fader as I bring it up.
Then we're back to the start, now it's split apart. The roads are shifting, our worlds apart. We've been here before through these sliding doors.
And you might have thought to yourself, that didn't sound like it did much of anything, and that's the point. It's not supposed to be really obvious. It's just supposed to kind of fill in the body. You'll notice it leave, though, when I turn it on and off, so watch the solo mute button on this channel.
Then we're back to the start, now it's split apart. The roads are shifting, our worlds apart. We've been here before through these sliding doors.
So it's copying the exact vocal signal. There's nothing really changing in the processing here. All I'm doing is bringing up a little bit more of that body of the vocal. And in the context of the full mix, it really helps it sound fuller with everything else going on.
Then we're back to the start, now it's split apart. The roads are shifting, our worlds apart. We've been here before through these sliding doors.
A really simple way to kind of add some of that body back into a vocal part in parallel with some parallel EQ. Now, the question you may be asking is, why can't I just boost this on the main vocal channel to get some of that body back in? Well, that is a strategy you could use, but then what ends up happening if you've got any other processing going on after your EQ, like compression, saturation, whatever, it affects that. So if you have it set up where you're getting the compression you like, you're getting some saturation maybe that you like, and you don't want to drive more signal into that in this specific range, you can avoid that by just doing this on a parallel channel and not having it really affect the other processing going on in your main vocal signal, and also just have this on a fader of its own to automate to your liking. You could, I guess, throw in another EQ after all the processing on the main channel and EQ this specific frequency up and down, but I find this to be a little bit easier. Just copy the channel, dial in the EQ you want, and ride the fader for whatever level you want. So there it is, another really easy trick from Tony Maserati. How do we get some more bottom out of the vocals if the vocal gets a little bit thin with some parallel EQ that filters out all the top end and focuses just on that low end. If you have any questions or comments, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already so we can keep you in the loop as to what's coming up next, and I'll see you in the next one.